Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to episode 200 and... I forgot to pull that up.
Mulligan.
216 of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's with me tonight?
Hey, it's Alyssa.
Hi, my name is Sarah.
Welcome back, both of you.
Hello, I'm Barry.
Very long time no talk. It's been 2 weeks.
2 weeks? 2 weeks since we had a conversation.
And Alyssa, where do people find you at?
You can find me on Instagram at Alyssa Billy. I do perler beat art on there.
If I'm being honest, you could probably barely find me online anymore.
Yeah, I can believe that. And Barry, where can people find you at?
You could find me on Twitter at Hawk Hellfire. You could also find my group Nintendo Fuse at nintendofuse.com, as well as youtube.com/Nintendo Fuse and Nintendo Fuse on Twitter, where we talk about the latest Nintendo news, as well as do a bi-weekly podcast every other Monday night at 9:30 p.m. Eastern, as well as premiumeditiongames.com, where we put out high-quality physical releases for the Nintendo Switch and now the PlayStation 4 and 5. You can go to premiumeditiongames.com and check out our latest releases and pre-orders, as well as find us on Twitter at Premium Edition 1 and pretty much everywhere else at Premium Edition Games.
All right. And we are all here to talk about a game that I've been lying to the world and telling everybody I beat, but never actually finished, I realized. We're here to talk about Paper Mario for the N64, developed by Intelligent Systems, published by Nintendo, and came out in 2001. Damn, it's over 20 years old.
Yep.
So first, I always like to ask people what their memories are with this game. For me, I remember my friend playing it, and I remember thinking that I beat it and did not. That's my only memory of it. As I played through the game, I realized nothing. I remember nothing. Like I did not play this game very much. What about you, Sarah?
Oh my God, I played this game so much. I remember when I was 13, my brother borrowed it from one of his friends, and I wouldn't return it to his friend because I was playing it 3 times in a row. I have played this game way more times than I know.
That's impressive. It's not that easy either, I don't think.
Oh, it's super easy. You just didn't grind enough. You wanna like fast run through it.
That's what I did, yes.
Yeah, see, that's not how to play.
I got a ticking time.
You don't even collect everything. There's so much collecting.
No, I didn't do that, no. And what about you, Alyssa? What's your history with this?
Just saying.
And that's all I am.
This was actually the first Paper Mario that I played, but surprisingly, I didn't play it on the N64. I actually played it on the Wii when you were able to, purchase like Super Nintendo or N64 games on there through the eShop. I saw Paper Mario and I was like, okay, let me give it a try. And I actually really liked it.
All right. And what about you, Barry?
As an N64 owner in the 90s, without a PlayStation, it was drought between all the big games. So 2001, the last year of the 64, was terrible. I think there was like 5 or 6 games total released that year. And when this game came out, I was just about to finish high school, and I was just like, oh my God, I'm so happy that this is finally there. It's finally something new to play, because everyone's prepared for the GameCube and people had Dreamcast and PlayStation 2s at this time, but I didn't. So I was like, oh, I finally get a new Mario game, and I fell in love with it. I was like, oh, I was a Super Mario RPG fan. I remember when this was touted as Super Mario RPG 2, and I was very disappointed that it was not Mario RPG 2, but it was its own thing, and I just loved it for what it was.
Okay, I think that's one thing that turned me off of it, because I loved Super Mario RPG when I was younger, and this game wasn't. It's sort of a sequel, but not. It's like more. First, a successor would probably be the more correct term of what it is, and that bothered me because I didn't get the game I wanted. So I think I was always
the sequels to the Mario RPG games are like Super Mario Saga. The Mario Luigi ones are much more supposed to be
I've never played.
The sequels.
Well, this one was touted as the sequel when it first was announced, and this came out before Mario. Yeah, wow. It was The original working name was Super Mario RPG 2. And it was designed to be that, because this came out, Mario & Luigi Superstar Saga came out in the GBA several years after this. So this was designed to be the sequel, and they went with a different direction. And in Japan, I think it was just called Mario Story. It wasn't even Paper Mario. So they had no idea what they were doing. But
they don't have the rights to Super Mario RPG or Geno or...
Well, Square, unfortunately,
I'm very happy with the entire Paper Mario series minus the 3DS one, because that one's terrible.
It's not that bad. It's just not as good as the others.
I have no idea what you guys are talking about.
One day when you get to it, you will understand.
Well, I'm going to. The whole reason why this
I don't know if
even,
Mike has the patience for that many RPGs.
you never know. Hey, I have a couple more on the show. I got the Moon on the show here soon. I got Kingdom Hearts 2 coming up. I got a few stuff.
Nice one.
So I'm trying to do more. I have the Steam Deck now, so it makes things much more easier to get through long games. When you play a game every week, it gets tough sometimes. I don't recommend anybody do what I do. So just gonna put that out there. I'll do what I do. So I play this game on a Steam Deck because I play everything on a Steam Deck if I'm able to. And when I went into this playthrough, I had to go into it, because it's not the game I wanted it to be all those years ago. It's not, Super Mario RPG 2, but it's still a very good game. Like, I had some memories of the RPG elements, and I enjoy certain parts of it, but it's not, for me, part of the issue with the leveling. I felt like you don't get enough out of leveling. Like I don't like when I get to pick my stat. I don't want to pick it. I want it to be given to me.
Well, you did that in Super Mario RPG as well.
But you get some, like you just pick a bonus, right? In Mario RPG?
It's true. I mean, but it's only like 1 point versus 3, so you'd always pick the 3 anyway.
That's kind of forced you into it. Like, here's what you should do.
I'm okay with that. Where this being able to choose between MP, flower power, MP, HP, or badge points, you can equip more items. I didn't like having that choice. I would have rather just because I feel like you don't get any actual stat upgrades other than whatever you pick. And that bothered me.
I actually really love that feature. I always thought it was an interesting strategy of how you want to challenge yourself in the game. If you're someone who played it multiple times, it definitely changes up the strategy of playing.
I also realize I don't like pressing buttons a lot. So, and I don't know. I mean, it could have been emulation, but I don't know. But I was awful at the timing for defense. Awful.
So you heard it here first, folks. Mike would prefer to play games with his mind because pushing buttons is too much.
He was.
Well, he also said on Facebook that he used save states in this game, which doesn't make any sense because there are save points everywhere.
Well, you can't save in the middle of the battle when you miss the defensive move and you got to go back and redo it. You can't do that. I wouldn't have beat this game if I wouldn't have cheated like that. I wouldn't have finished it because I was having a hard time. Even though I was level 20 something, I think, when I beat this game. 22. I don't think I was under leveled.
Did you have your
I'm usually
HP
around
maxed
level
out?
26. Sorry.
My HP was like 55.
Oh, okay. So did you?
I don't know what the max
HP?
was, but I didn't like flower power for a long time, so I didn't raise it up until near the end.
Oh, wow.
I didn't like the abilities. I also didn't use badges that gave Mario new abilities. I didn't like those that much. I had one jumping attack on near the end, and that was it, because I didn't like that.
That explains why you needed save states to win those battles.
I know. I didn't say I played this game right. I'm just saying that I played the game my way. I'm the kind of guy that I will play every RPG where I will go and get, I'll get knighted around FF7, but I want to beat the final boss with regular attack. That's just how I play RPGs. If I can't do that, I'm not happy. I don't know why I play it like that. I can't.
You really ruined the experience for yourself a bit there.
I don't get it. I'm the kind of guy who would get all the extra items and save everything and just never use it.
So you won't use like cheese systems that you can within the game and stuff like that?
Not in RPGs is mostly, at least not back then. Maybe now because I'm
That's like the
faster.
point of RPGs, though.
I know.
The collecting.
When I was younger.
That's literally the
much
point of RPGs.
Good luck playing any other Paper Mario game, Mike.
Well,
Yeah.
I can force myself to play
Just give it up
differently.
right
I
now.
was forcing myself.
The GameCube one's amazing, but you probably just don't.
I'm going to 100%. That's the only reason why this game is even on the show, because somebody 2 years ago, or more, almost 3, I looked it up, I found the message. She said, you should play Paper Mario Thousand Year Door. And I'm like, all right, I'll get to it. Well, 3 years later, I finally got Paper Mario on the show.
Better late than never.
But yeah, that's the only reason why I even put this game in the show, because somebody recommended it 3 years ago.
Took you long enough?
Busy. A lot of games.
Yes.
Too many games. Too many
There's
shorter
only
games.
more coming out every single week.
That don't mean nothing to me.
So
People talk about the
many
new
right
games.
now.
I'm like, who cares about new games? I got to play old games.
Hey, if you haven't played them, they're new to you.
Yeah, hey, this was actually, this turned out to be new to me. The only thing I really remembered was I remembered the Koopa you get, the second guy. I forgot his name, though, all of a sudden.
Cooper.
Cooper?
Cooper. Yeah.
That's all I
didn't
remember.
even play the game before coming for the podcast. Like, it's just in my head.
It's fine. It was not in my head. There was very little that was in my memory. I remember the parrot, the parrot, the flying one. I think that's as far as I got with him. I did not remember the female ghost. Boo, whatever her name is. Boobette or
Ladybug.
Oh,
I didn't pay any attention, by the way. So, I mean, I had fun. Like, I enjoyed the game, but I didn't pay attention. I didn't use Lady Bow much. I only used. I really like the fish for some reason.
Sushi?
You didn't use Lady Bow when you were in the Shy Guy toy box when you fight that mini boss with the light before you get Watt?
I think I might have then, but I only use her a few times. She wasn't my go-to character.
Yeah, that's for sure the best time to use her.
I think I did for that because the guide probably told me to. I had a guide too. So.
Oh my gosh, Mike.
You're not surprised. Neither three of you should be surprised. You all know me long enough at this point.
Yeah.
I mean, I still had fun. I mean, I loved what it takes with Mario elements and how it pushes it all into this game and it makes it work. I mean, the whole paper aesthetic, whatever word I want to use here.
Aesthetic.
It worked for me. Like, it's still cool. I like it. It's not. I would rather have Mario RPG where they're like the clay models, but this is fine.
The one for Switch is actually really beautiful. Like, they went above and beyond with the paper aspect of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. The paper aesthetic gets greater as the series goes on. It's no longer just a gimmick. It's like we're going to roll into the fact that they're paper and the cardboard and everything just gets... the whole world is just built out of paper.
I'm okay with that. It's a cool concept.
And it brought on other games like Kirby's Epic Yarn and Yoshi's Woolly World and then Yoshi's Craft World,
Mm-hmm.
Really opening up that aspect of gaming.
All games I need to play someday.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's nice when they do different artistic styles and they do something creative like that. And then, of course, if you want, you could do the Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which is another crossover and another Paper Mario game in a sense.
Sort of.
Said in a sense.
I don't even know this game. But, I guess for me, I had a hard time with a lot of the mechanics of this game didn't work for me in the sense. It took a little bit for me to get used to the whole hitting enemies and timing it. I got better at it, but I wasn't super good at timing.
But that was also another thing from Super Mario RPG.
Thank you. Yes.
I wasn't good at it in that game either. Well, actually, when I beat Super Mario RPG for the show, episode 125, I beat it on a cell phone. Don't do that.
Wow. Well, that's why this game was Super Mario RPG too. It's because they were taking what worked from Square's game and they were incorporating it into this game, which is why you see some of those systems carry over. So you should have liked it because it was part of the game you liked originally.
I did mostly. I mean, I had fun. I really did enjoy this game. I just sucked at it, but I still enjoyed it. I actually played it with music too.
Keeping it positive.
There's something there too. I was mostly positive with this game. This game is, I think, holds up actually really well, which is not something I can say about every game I play in the show. So
a lot of Nintendo games.
This was still fun.
They're like timeless classics.
Yeah, I mean, just look at the SNES library at all.
Oh, that's a good library.
Pretty fair. I mean, this game had a lot of hidden elements to it, and I did go out of my way and try to find badges and try to break all the blocks and dig in the fences, and I did look for a lot of secrets in this game. I actually went and did all the side quests too. I didn't look for all the star pieces because I can't do stuff like that. I would get them, but when it got to a point where they were hidden underneath the floor, that's kind of where I checked out.
Really? But you can use your last hammer to do that. It's easy.
I was kind of checked out at that point with the star pieces, but I did buy all the badges from the store.
There's a badge that helps tell you if there's a hidden item in the area too.
Yeah, but
it only takes one badge.
I wasn't gonna. I wasn't looking for items like that.
I get Mike in that sense though, because sometimes when you're doing an RPG, you start the RPG and you're fighting every enemy and you're doing all the side quests and you're going 100%. And when you're in 50, 60 hours or whatever, and you're towards the end, it's just kind of all right, you know what? Let's just get the final boss out of the way. I've put in my time. I'm skip past enemies. Let's just go. So I get that way too sometimes after that long. So I
did everything else. I did all the other side quests. I helped out the old man Koopa and did all his side quests. I did most star piece. If I saw a star piece, I would go out of my way to get it. I just didn't do the jump on stuff. That was it. But I did most things in this game. I was enjoying this game.
That's good to hear you say about an RPG.
Yeah, I'll take it.
I just didn't like my issue with the battle system is that I like it. I did enjoy for the most part, the aspect of timing. It's just after a while it got to me. Near the end of the game, I was like, okay, I'm tired of doing this because I'm just getting my ass handed to me. Because they dealt too much damage, in my opinion. I didn't like that.
There is something to be said about games that you don't have to pay extra attention to, especially in more recent RPGs where there's auto battle and stuff like that, especially for the grunt stuff, just grinding. I can feel that too. It's like when you start the game, it's like, oh, this is cool. But like if you decide to sit there and grind a little bit, it's like, oh, I got to pay attention extra to every battle as opposed to just like, just steamrolling over enemies.
Like I fought every enemy really just about until I want to say like the last 2 chapters maybe. Because even in the flower world, I was still trying to fight almost everybody. And then I started to break down and be like, okay, I'm not getting anything out of this anymore. Like I would still fight, but not nearly like the level I was. Alyssa, how do you play this?
Sorry, I'm like a serial grinder, so I definitely have the patience for that, and I'll just sit there. I will get those levels.
I do not.
However long it takes.
I'm kind of like you, Mike. After a while, like when I saw that I would only get, like 5 or less star power, from beating some enemies, I was just like, I'm just going to skip it and just keep going with the story because it just didn't seem like it was worth my time.
I was the same way. Like I can grind in games. If all I do is keep hitting A, I will grind for hours. I'll put a podcast on, I'll watch TV, and I'll grind for hours. But when I have to pay attention and grind, then I can't do it.
Yeah.
That's what broke me with this, is that it was too much I had to pay attention, or otherwise the attacks just do not work, and the damage is too low. Oh, I also didn't deliver any letters either. I collected a lot of letters, but I didn't bother to deliver any of them. I didn't care about that part. It just didn't interest me to go look for people.
You didn't want people to get their mail?
No, they don't need their mail.
Rude.
It's weird. I spent years delivering, helping people send out packages. Now I'm like, screw you, people, digital people. You don't get your packages. So,
no mail for you.
It's just your angst coming out.
Yes, 5 years of working for a company. I'm like, no more packages. I don't want to see your packages anymore. No, but too many letters. What is $10 to get shipped this there? That's ridiculous. It should be 25 cents. Well, go to the post office. So. That's my rant.
I've definitely completed this game, and I will say that once you get near the end of completing it, it is really tedious because it's like a 1-star piece hidden in this random spot that you happen to miss.
Oh.
Yeah, that's too much for me. Any game I play, I almost never go for 100% when it comes to little things like that. Like we played Infamous 2 not that long ago for the show. I did all the side missions, but I couldn't bring myself to look for blast shards. Like I've never been a person to look for little things in a game. I mean, it's not.
It depends on the game for sure. But I feel like that Paper Mario is actually pretty short compared to other RPGs.
Oh, it is.
So I mean,
yes. That
one's fine for me to complete.
See, when I first played it, I did the 100% too, but that was also because there really wasn't much else to play, and as a high school student with no real income, you stretched a game because you weren't getting another one for a while, so you just you looked for anything to perfect it and just keep playing. So I did it, but like when replaying it for this, it was like, nope, I'm just gonna go through it. Like a lot of it came back to me, but I just wanted to read through the story and have some fun with it. So I feel you on both sides.
That's enough. I also gotta say I really like the cast of characters in this that you get. Like I like the idea. Like it starts off like the game kind of shows you right away. You start in a Goomba town pretty quickly after you get kicked out of the castle, which really felt like Super Mario RPG. And like, you have your team is a bunch of the normally enemies from Mario games. I really like that. Like that was a nice, combination. Like you have a Goomba, you have a Koopa, you have a flying Koopa, you have a bomb, you have a fish.
Yeah, I always thought it was really fun, like how you got the characters too, and they each have their own little side story. Yeah,
there were definitely 3-dimensional characters in that sense. Like you want to see them come back. Like I want to see more of what they're doing and where they are. Unfortunately.
Most of them.
That would take all of them.
I did not like, for some stupid reason, I did not like the flying Koopa, the mailman guy.
That's because there's more timing with that one. That's why you didn't like him.
That I couldn't get his move off, to be fair, but I had a hard time with his move. He was the hardest one for me with his kick.
So you didn't like his character, or you just didn't like using him?
I didn't like using him. I also didn't like how he had to fly me over spots. It irritated me that Mario can't just jump over.
Oh, jeez.
So yeah. I wanted a double jump. I mean, I get the that one jump, but I wanted more distance. I don't know. I just didn't care for him.
This is like the strangest nitpicking of an RPG.
Yeah, what I got. I don't know. He was my least. He's also the only character I didn't get upgraded to when I finished this game. Because I must have missed one block somewhere, so he didn't get upgraded. Everybody else got upgraded, but not him. So
I think the last one that I always upgrade is the Goomba because I never use him.
I really like that Goomba. I don't remember his name, but I really like him.
Goombaria.
He's awesome. I don't know why. I actually used him in the final boss fight.
I use Watt a lot. I feel like Watt's attack is really, the control is really simplistic and he hits hard once you upgrade him. So
Yeah, I
I
like it a
always
lot.
use that one.
I don't know what it was with me and Goomario. Like, I didn't use him for like a large chunk of the game, but then I was like, okay, you're my guy. And Goomario's always with me. I got nothing. But that's another charm of this game.
Using him.
You can use different characters. It doesn't affect anything. Like, it doesn't, like all the characters are good what they give you. Even the Lakitu, which I didn't use much. I got him so late. I didn't like his attack.
You can use every character to beat the game, and that's a good balance.
Yeah.
And they all have their own special ability over the map as well, like when you're just running around. And I always like that.
I did too. It was a good combination. I mean, it's nice they all have their advantage. I also spun all the time constantly because I was always trying to go fast.
There's actually a badge that makes you go extra fast when you spin.
I had that on most of the time.
Me too. I always have that one on.
Until I had it unequipped because I needed room for other badges. Because later on I was trying to play more smarter and use better badges and actually try versus just screwing around.
Yeah, especially with like the defense badges, the offense badges that give you more attack, stuff that actually helps.
All those were equipped. I leveled up my badges a bunch later on. I just didn't mess with flower power as much. But I had items, so I was okay. Like I had, when I would use flower power, I had a bunch of syrups with me.
Okay.
I just didn't
like. And honestly, once you get like a certain amount of stars, I just use the star attack all the time as well.
I did sometimes, but again, the me has issues with attacks like that. Like I like to save them forever. I'm not saying it makes sense. I'm just saying it's one thing I do. I don't work, but I did use the star power. I tried. It just, I don't know. I don't understand. I played this game very weird.
I guess.
But I fought all the bosses that I could. Was there any reason to fight in that big red Koopa that you get near the end? Okay. I killed him.
There's no like, you can do it or you can not do it.
I thought I'd get something for it. Like, so the guy told me, oh, you can go beat him. I'm like, okay, cool. And I'm like, nothing happened.
Well, it opens up the path, and you need the path to be open for one of your like random side quests. I forget if it's letters or if it's something else like that. It's one of the random side quests.
Okay. I mean, I did it just because like you give me an optional boss, I'm going to take them out. I enjoyed this game enough that I wanted to do that. So I did have fun, and I really did enjoy the witty dialogue of this game. That has to be. We have to talk about that a little bit. Like the writing in this game is great. It is really good.
Intelligent systems are really good when it comes to dialogue. I mean, they do the Fire Emblem series too, so they've got a pedigree for RPGs and for writing. And I love the way they took on the Mario universe because it's such a lighthearted universe, and then they pretty much kill Mario right at the beginning of the game, and I'm like, yep, I love this.
I also like how you can avoid enemies in this game if you want to. I think that's a good feature, or the fact that you can hit them to get like a first attack so you do more damage. I enjoyed all those features of it. Again, it reminded me of Chrono Trigger and Mario RPG, but I got a shot at Chrono Trigger when I can. That game doesn't get enough love,
Are you kidding? Like everyone who plays
kidding.
retro loves Chrono Trigger.
I know. I just my favorite game of all time, so I have to reference it whenever I can. That's all. So
we're gonna shoehorn it in.
I always do. Episode 100 if you want to hear 3-hour talk about that game. So I also think like this game did a good job of having many different areas that really like they're very separate enough, and they all kind of include the person that joins your team at the time. Really compliments them and as they're helping you succeed. And I thought that was very good too.
Yeah, I always thought that was fun. What was your favorite world? Like, which was your favorite chapter?
I really like the plant place for some reason. Even though it
That's
reminded me of Banjo-Kazooie.
That's more puzzly.
You think I was playing legit? Come on now. I'm using a guide. But no, probably my favorite would be to be fair, probably the Yoshi's Island place. I like the jungle.
Fat Yoshi.
I like that too. And I just really enjoyed, and the fish. I used the fish for a bit after I got him until I switched back to Goombario late in the game. But that fish was my go-to guy for a little bit.
Nice. I really love the toy box. The Shy Guys are so funny, and I just love how they're like running from you. It's ridiculous.
I did not like that part as much. It looks cool. I don't know. I don't like Shy Guys. I mean, I think they look cool, but I don't like fighting them.
Shy Guys.
What? They're so fun.
Thank you.
Shy Guys are great.
I don't know. The toy box, I was annoyed with the toy box, but it's a really cool level. It's everything leading up to it. I think it's really good where the townsfolk have everything stolen from them. That was all really well done. Yeah,
I like the toy box and Shy, how could you not like Shy Guys? They're one of the big takeaways from Mario 2.
I mean, I like Shy Guys. I just didn't like them. I didn't like fighting them in this game for some reason.
Oh.
I feel like in the Paper Mario series too, they have like a pretty good part in it, at least with the newer games as well.
I
You
agree.
gotta like the Shy Guys.
Yeah, the Shy Guys stick around. Shy Guys are in all the Yoshi games also, and
Yeah.
then in all the Paper Marios.
I mean, they are one of my favorite Mario characters. I just didn't like fighting them in this game for some reason. I don't know. I was struggling with them a little bit, I think, when I first got there. I don't think I was equipped right. That's most likely what the issue was.
Well,
So,
their attacks really vary in the game too. Like they jump differently. It's harder to time because each one has a slightly different movement.
that was one of my small issues, was the fact that the timing for defense is so important. Like, you have to be good at defense in this game, or you will not get through the game.
Yeah.
And that kind of bugged me. I like it, like, because Mario RPG, I don't do the defense almost ever. I just did the attack. Because I didn't need to do the defense because I just leveled up enough. But in this game, I felt like you need to,
Yes.
or you will not get through it.
Well, that and the fact that there's only a 10 item limit that you can hold, which I think is probably the biggest shortcoming of this game. On RPG, you just want to hold as many items as possible.
Yeah. But I didn't like that I could only hold 10. And I also didn't realize till way late in this game you could use items outside battle. way too late. World 6 or 7 is when I figured out,
Wow.
I hit down C.
Wow.
Well, to be fair, my controller doesn't have a down C button. It just had a right joystick on my Steam Deck, so I didn't think much about the C buttons.
This is why you should play with the original controller.
Oh, I have an N64 controller that's USB, but it doesn't work on Steam Deck. I couldn't have played this legit. I just didn't want to. I guess I could still have bought it on Wii U, couldn't I?
Yeah.
You could.
I think the last time I played it, I was on my Wii U.
It's also on Switch on the N64
Oh,
app,
yeah.
and you could buy the N64 controller and play it that way too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I am
that's how
happy
played
that it
mine.
exists legally for people. Like, I'm very glad that this game has been preserved in ways that people can experience it on modern hardware. I just didn't want to play. I wanted to play in the Steam Deck. I didn't want to play in the Switch. Even though the Switch probably would have been better because it has rewind, but I love the Steam Deck.
The same save states too.
I know, but Steam Deck is bigger screen. I have a Switch Lite.
Okay.
So it's too small.
The
for me.
OLED screen is pretty good.
Yeah, I haven't bought a real Switch yet. Again, someday. I kind of want one sometimes, but I'm kind of like, I just don't care enough right now. I like cheap games, and Switch doesn't have cheap games like that.
Switch has
Not
plenty
the ones
of
I
cheap
want.
games.
Not the ones I
Yeah, you want
want.
to play all those indie titles? Come on.
No.
Plenty of cheap games.
Indie
I just
titles
wanna-
are great.
Yeah, they are, but I buy Nintendo for Nintendo games, and that's the issue.
Well, Nintendo games will never be cheap because they
Yeah,
hold
that's the
value.
other issue. That's my other issue with Nintendo. Alyssa,
How
did you
dare
have a-
they have value with their games?
I know. I agree. Same. I mean, after 3 years, drop your value. Simple as that. Do what Ubisoft does. Make games, sell them for $60, then like 3 months later, $20. You know. No, I know. I don't mind. It just gets to me after a couple of years. That's all. Like Breath of the Wild should not be $50 still. That's another, or $60. That's all another story.
Well, if it's still selling for $60, there's no
No, I
reason to lower the price.
We have this every
Right,
time.
exactly.
We'll only lower the
Capitalism.
price when they're not selling anymore. That's why coupons exist. You don't get coupons on things that are, selling like hotcakes. You get it on the stuff that's sitting in the back room and they're trying to move.
Well, I understand the reason. I just don't like it. That's all.
Well, then blame everybody who's loving Nintendo
I will.
games for buying them.
Yeah, feel free to blame me because I am so the pre-order
Yep.
person.
Same.
I'm not. But that's because I pre-ordered Breath of the Wild, still never gotten past the first plateau. So
Oh my god.
one day.
There's a homework assignment for you.
It's going to go on the show, so I make myself finally play it one day. And Alyssa, did you have a favorite character out of your team?
Ooh, I say Cooper. I used him a lot, and I don't know. He looked cute little, bandana thing around his neck. So I used him a lot. That was probably my favorite guy.
Okay. I like Cooper too. I used him a bit in the beginning. And then I just kind of, as I got other characters, he didn't stick with me, but I really like him too. He
Yeah,
was
I
one of the
used
few
him
things
a lot.
I remembered. So, 'cause I forgot most other characters.
Is that why you used him? Because you forgot other characters existed?
No. I liked his attack. I really liked his attack for a while.
You get to an obstacle and you're like, why can't I get past Cooper? Help me. There's other characters I could switch to? What? I didn't know I had other
It's only
characters.
one I remembered from back in the day. Like I don't think I got too much farther. For a little bit, I would switch as I got new characters, and then after a while, I kind of just stuck with the people I
Back
was
to Old
used to.
Faithful.
You Mario in the end.
I think that's normal though. I mean, when you get a certain character or a certain weapon that you really like, and it's just like, I'm just gonna stick with this, or until you get that one enemy that you can't use it anymore, and you got to go out of your comfort zone and discover a new favorite.
But at least in this game, like it doesn't mean since they don't have levels, the whole idea is that you have to get boxes that didn't let you upgrade the character. Like I said, I had everybody upgrade but one person. And that was it. Because I just couldn't find one box at some point. But I was looking for him. So I don't know where it was.
You
I don't
had
know
a
how I missed it.
walkthrough. How'd you miss it with a walkthrough?
I wasn't using the walkthrough for everything. I was trying to play the game, just explore it. Then when I couldn't figure out what to do, then I'd look at the walkthrough and I'd go back to just playing. I did a little bit of both.
Oh, okay. It seems kind of convenient.
But I didn't use it for word.
And here I was picturing you like walking into a room, pausing, reading the walkthrough for that room, doing everything, walking to the next room, pause, looking at the.
It wasn't that bad. It was mainly just for like whenever I get stuck. Anytime I got confused and I wasn't sure exactly, I'd like, okay, where should I go now? All right, then I would play and explore. Because this game is pretty easy to do that for the most part. There'd just be things I didn't want to miss that I wouldn't have found otherwise.
That's understandable.
And there were a few times I got stuck where I didn't like, example, in the Yoshi's Island part, I think I had to move some bushes. It was something I was missing that I had to click on that took me a bit to realize.
It was probably one of the baby Yoshis.
I was missing one of them for a little bit. I had to go back and find them. But just little things. I would use it sometimes for star pieces until later on I just stopped caring for star pieces because they didn't seem as important to me. Like I bought the badges that I wanted from the guy that interested me, so I wasn't missing anything I cared about.
Yeah, at a point, the rest is just completionist. If you wanted to be a completionist about it, then you could totally do it. But not all the badges that guy sells are necessary at all.
No, I had everything that I wanted. I saved up and got the badges I wanted from him, and I'm like, well, I'm fully set up the way I want to be, and I'm content with my setup. So it felt unnecessary at that point to do anything else. I do like one thing about this game. It has a hub town where you have the Toad Town as the hub town, and everything else kind of branches off from it, and does a good job of that. It does a very good job of having the worlds, each level, feel very unique and fit the story of how you're trying to find the star spirits, which again more and more ties to Super Mario RPG.
Did you get all of the warp pipes in the little tunnels underneath Toad Town?
Oh, I enjoyed those. I went down the sewer,
That's
did
like
all
one of
that.
my favorite things to unlock is everything in the tunnels.
That was cool. I like how it also makes you use all your buddies too, which was a nice touch. One thing I could see being kind of screwing people over if you don't pay attention is you could miss one of the dungeons because if you don't find all the plant guys and get all the seeds, you won't get that dungeon you need.
Yeah.
I could see that being an issue. I didn't have that issue because I just found them all. I wasn't even really using the guide. I just found them as exploring.
Yeah, they're pretty out in the open, not too hard to find. But you can easily look it up also where they're at. And it's not like it's a long trek in that game.
No, this game does a good job letting you backtrack and with the tunnels so nothing ever feels overwhelming, which I appreciated.
Yeah, it's very well designed.
When you were in the tunnels, did you bump into that mole guy that was trying to sell you items for 64 coins?
I think I did, yeah, and I bought some stuff off him because it told me to. The guy did. Because I always consult guides when it comes to somebody just randomly selling you stuff. I will always double check. Like in Hollow Knight, for example, you have that one guy that's selling you charms. I'm like, we're not buying nothing from you until I read to see if you're actually legit or not. Well, that game is more Dark Soulsy, and you don't trust anything in Dark Souls.
With save states, what does it matter? You save, buy, see what happens, and you just reload, right?
Well, Hollow Knight, I didn't have save states, so I beat Hollow Knight legit. So.
That's his badge of honor. Mike walks around with a shirt. I beat Hollow Knight legit.
How many games are on that list?
It depends on how many I can't cheat. If I can't cheat, I beat them legit. That's all.
But first, try to cheat every time.
I do. If I can, I will. Well, save state, yeah. But that's just how I play. But no, I enjoyed the sewer stuff. I thought that was cool. I looked up with that guy, but yeah, I spent some coins when I just got tired of it. So I also was able to get max coins whenever I needed to because you get the gambling games with the blocks you can do, and it was safe that I could see which one Bowser. So I would just pay the coins and get all the boxes just to refill my
cheater.
So just refill my coins when I needed coins.
Damn, you dirty cheater, Mike.
I am. That's
abusing the system.
Hey, safe states are wonderful. They really are.
Isn't it funny how there's always like a gambling aspect to Mario RPG games?
Yep.
It's like a casino hidden somewhere that you need to go find.
I never did the casino in Super Mario RPG though.
Oh, it's kind of annoying to get into actually, but
I don't know if I ever even have. Like I know of it, but I don't know if I've ever actually done it. Oh, and the one character we haven't talked about is you get a Lakitu, you get Spike at the end of this game or near the end of the game. I didn't like him. I did not like him at all.
It's his transportation.
Well, yeah, he's felt too weak in combat though.
Yeah, I pretty much only ever used him for transportation. And then when you're forced to use him in the game, obviously. But he's not one of the better characters. I don't even like his mechanics for battle.
No, I didn't like his special abilities either. Like, I just didn't like him. He just didn't work for me. Like, one of my favorite special abilities was the fish shooting people in the face with water. I used that constantly. That was one of my go-to abilities late in the game. Like, I just shoot everyone in the face with water because it did enough
I
damage.
see you doing that, just like giggling like a hyena as you do
I
it.
thought it was funny. I did. Like I said, I really liked that fish for a while. When I got him, he was my go-to guy until I started getting all the power-ups, and then near the end, Gumbario joined me because I was fighting too many enemies where it just wasn't working. I would tattle a lot because I wanted to see their HP. I also love the fact that you
There's a badge that shows you the enemy's HP.
I had it, but that cost points.
Oh,
But
geez.
tattling costs a turn.
Exactly.
But if you fight the same enemies over and over again, then you already know. Or if you save state, you can see what they're at for bosses and then reload. Never done it.
Oh my gosh.
Like
I actually only did that like once or twice. I was content. I wanted to see their HP. So.
you know, how there's like Alcoholics Anonymous. There needs to be like a Cheaters Anonymous, and you really need to go to some meetings, Mike.
Be like,
But, I mean,
cheat code and beating games that are out of my power to beat normally.
Well, part of it is just the speed I have to do it at for the show. That's even before the show, the same way.
There's a difference between using a cheat code and abusing the cheat power, and you're abusing at this point.
Well, I mean, I don't know if I would have kept playing this game otherwise, because I don't think all the button stuff would have kept me into it. Because the leveling system, I didn't like it personally. So I don't know if it would have kept me going. I think that's what dropped me off this game years ago, was the leveling system.
So the real reason you finished this game was not for the podcast, but was the fact that you can cheat and abuse, and that gave you the power and
to finish it for the podcast. Yeah,
the patience to finish it.
Well, I wasn't good at time. I'm not super good at timing, and especially if you get into a stressful situation where you're like, okay, I'm down to the last. He's almost done. I got him, and then like you mess up on an ability and take double damage like that. I'm not okay with, especially in a case where I can't. Like in Super Mario RPG, I could just grind and grind and grind to my heart's content and feel like and I feel like I'm getting more stuff. Where in this game, I didn't feel that way. Plus, I couldn't carry enough items, and the items you do, like I don't think you can even buy Ultra Shrooms, can you?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Ultra
There's
Shrooms
a
are just
secret
20,
shop
right?
down below. Huh?
I think Ultra Shrooms, no, those are like, what, 60 or 50? I had a couple of them, but I didn't.
Ultra Shrooms are 120 in the shop, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I know I bought them. I don't think I had bought them because I would have stocked them. Even then, I just didn't. I mean, again, I had the ability to, but.
And then you can go cook the Ultra Shrooms with like the jelly that they give you, with that lady, and then you have a super item.
Oh, I did cook a few things, but I never cooked any of the Ultra Shroom with jelly. But
why
that's cool.
would he have to? Because he just save state probably after every turn, and if
I did sometimes,
so
but
much damage,
fair,
you just
I still
reload it.
used.
There's no
use
starting
Ultra
back
jelly.
from the save block, only save states.
Yes. I think, Mike, after this episode, you need to change the name of your podcast to Games My Mom Found Me Cheating At.
You got it. It was a simple maybe, but it's not simple. Just how I play. It's how I enjoy. So that's what matters, right?
That's all that matters.
Or as Ninja would say, I'm just cheating myself. In the great words of that idiot streamer. So is he even still around? I'm assuming.
I'm guessing he is.
Another thing that was interesting with this game is the way you get power-ups for your weapons. Like you get better boots, you get better hammer as the game progresses, which increase the attack power. I did like that. I mean, I would have rather been able to buy more stuff, but it's a simple mechanic and it works for this game.
Yeah, I like
think
that.
That's a really fun aspect, but I think they carry it over a little bit better in the GameCube Paper Mario when they do the upgrades for the weapons because it actually has more of an impact.
Oh, I am definitely interested to play Thousand Year Door now. So I'm 100% on board for that one because I've been needing to play that game for years.
I think you should play that one last.
Why? Because it's the best.
Kind of.
It just goes
Yeah,
downhill.
play the
from there.
3DS one next.
Yes. Do Sticker Star next.
Alyssa, what do you say?
Well, I haven't played Sticker Star, but I vote Color Splash or Origami King.
Color Splash is really cool.
Is that the Wii U
that one's
one?
really
love
underrated.
That one.
I have a Wii U that doesn't get used. Because it's a Wii U. The last time I played Wii U was when I had to play Pokemon Snap.
The
There's
Wii U
less
has
people playing Wii U.
a great library that most people just didn't play, and a lot of that is now ported to the Switch, and people are able to play it in there.
Oh, I have
Color Splash never ported over
I wonder why they haven't done that yet.
because it uses the gamepad for the battles and stuff, and you use the
It
two
actually
screens.
uses the gamepad brilliantly too.
Brilliantly,
It's like
yeah.
made to be for that. It's so cool.
That's
Yeah.
cool. I mean, I don't know if I even own it. If I don't, I'll have to pick it up sometime because I wouldn't mind. Wii U shouldn't be expensive. Wii U games. I have a
Well,
Wii
that game it still sells for its full,
Oh.
regular retail price.
U.
Yeah, because I used to have
Because
it. and
Mario.
I didn't have it. Yeah, and then I tried looking for it again. I was like, oh, it sucks. Because even on the eShop too, it sold for the same.
You can't
regular
even
price.
add funds to eShop anymore, so
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
it's
And the
ending
eShop.
in March. So
No, I would only buy physical for that because I like physical for Nintendo games. Just not
So
everything
what
else.
you're saying is you have an N64 cartridge of Paper Mario, then?
So I don't know. My 64 games aren't what I used to own is at my parents' house still. I got to go get it back. I don't know if I do or not. I might because I know I played this game when I was younger and I thought I might have owned it, but just never finished it. I don't know.
Games my mom found that I left in her basement still.
There you go.
Actually, I didn't come up with the name for the podcast. Someone else did, but
We're
just stuck.
adjusting it to you.
Make it more accurate. Yes. But one of the worlds that I wanted, one of the things I liked, or one thing I want to talk about, like you have the mummy, like you have like mummy references in this game. And you go to the Dry Outpost. I thought that was really cool, and there's a lot of Zelda references there too, where the rat you have to go talk to, her name is Sheik or something. She turns out to be a princess or something.
Mm-hmm.
I thought I didn't catch that until someone told me. I'm like, okay, that's cool. I really like that.
No, it has a lot of really fun little things. Like if you talk to all the people, it's hilarious. Like some of them just say the silliest stuff. But I mean, of course, you'd have to take the time to talk to all the people.
I talked to some people. I did talk to some. As the game progressed less and less, but I did talk to some. Like the Yoshi's Island, I talked to almost everybody because I love Yoshis. I'm a big fan of Yoshis.
Did you look at Luigi's books and stuff?
Oh, the diary
was
is fantastic.
His
They're
diaries.
so funny.
I heard about it on one of my YouTube videos.
Wait, you didn't actually do it yourself, though?
No.
Oh, my God. It's one of the best
Come
parts
on,
of the
Mike.
game.
Well, I didn't know about it. It wasn't in a YouTube video I saw. Someone talked about it, and by then the game was already deleted off my Steam Deck. So
Wait,
Ugh.
you deleted it already?
I beat it and delete my save, delete the game, move on.
You didn't even delete your save?
Yeah, I delete everything, move on.
Wow. That's harsh.
There's no turning back for Mike.
Nope. The only game still on my Steam Deck that I haven't completely finished is Kingdom Hearts Chain of Memories because I didn't beat Riku's final boss because fuck that fight. So, but it's there in case I want to try again.
Damn. That's ruthless.
After the podcast, the games are dead to him.
I guess so.
Well, I mean, I gotta keep going. So
You got to keep
No, I
going,
just-
but you don't have to delete them and delete your save even.
I don't know. I just do that sometimes now. I just move on completely. Like, because last time I go back to a game, I want to play it again from the beginning. Like, I have multiple games for the show that I went back and played from start to finish again. Even games that weren't for the show. It's just that's how I am. If I'm going to replay a game, I like to play it from the beginning and start over. I don't know. It's just how I am.
Brutal.
I don't keep saves anymore.
That poor save too. Like I'll delete games if I need space, but I'll always keep the save data because I worked hard for that save data.
I want to start over. It's the experience.
Mike's
But
heartless.
usually there's multiple save files, so you just start over on a different save file, but you keep your original save file.
No, not anymore. I used to. I don't
Damn,
do it anymore.
that's cold.
It's just not how I am anymore. Yeah, I gotta. Another area that I do want to talk, like we talked about a little about the toy box. I think the toy box is a very creative thing. That's
Yes.
how they do it. Like I got confused at one part with the toy train where the guy's like, "It's a toy train. What am I supposed to do with it?" And I had to go. Then I was like, So I went back and you throw it in the toy box. And then it is a train big enough for the toy box. I thought that I really got a kick out of that little thing.
It's very clever.
It amused me a lot.
Just think
I
that
also
toy
love the
train
big
has been
fat shy
deleted.
guy.
The gourmet guy.
I liked him.
Yeah,
And we haven't talked about the Peach moments that are in here that are in between worlds that kind of break it up like an intermission, and those were kind of cool.
those,
was
those
kinda fun.
continue. That's
Team
like a
Peach.
Paper Mario staple.
Okay,
It's really
Yeah.
awesome.
I liked it. I like seeing Peach have more to do in the game instead of just being damsel in distress. So I mean, even though she was still damsel in distress, at least a little bit more. At least she's trying to help you.
They
Yeah.
actually they play on that whole thing. If you ever play the Mario and Luigi Paper Jam, which is the crossover where both Peaches are captured, the Mario and Luigi Peach and Paper Peach, and they're held in like a bar cell, but they're in the Mario and Luigi world. And Peach is obviously trapped, and Paper Peach is like, "I'm gonna go take care of some stuff." and she turns herself sideways and just goes through the bar, and real Peach is looking like, wait a minute, like what the heck?
Okay, you have my attention. I really want to play the Mario Luigi Superstar Saga game someday because I played the first one through emulation a long ass time ago. So I didn't have a GBA, and I just never got around to them again.
They're also really good. Rip Alpha Dream.
So I'm trying to play more of these old games I never got around to.
You got a lot of episodes just going through the Mario RPG series.
Yeah. I also used Bombette a little bit, especially more toward the end of the game when I got one of her some of her really good abilities. Like she was very useful for taking out tons of enemies quickly.
I guess
she was
I
one
would
of my
say she has a
favorites.
pretty decent multi-attack. I thought Cooper had a really good multi-attack also when you would kick his shell all the way across and hit everybody.
Yeah,
I
especially
use-
the flaming shell too.
He has a flaming shell?
Yeah, if you have him as super rank, so not just a regular rank, but you rank him up twice.
Yeah.
He has like a fire, like flaming shell he can do.
That's cool. I did that, but I didn't use him after that. But I moved on. I was using another character. But I did use his other ability all the time. But Bombette had became my go-to when there's a big group. Because she could blow the shit out of everybody. Even in the air, it didn't matter.
Replaying this game using Bombette just gave me PTSD for Origami King.
I know, right? I
Oh,
agree.
I was like, no.
I'm assuming she doesn't have a good fate in Origami King from the sound of this.
No, it's a similarity to another character. You'll have to
Yeah.
play and see. But yeah,
Okay.
it's just like, oh
I
no.
wanted to say something about it, but I didn't want to spoil for anything.
Yeah.
So it's like,
I do want to play Origami King someday. I really do.
it is a
This got me
very,
interested
very
to
good game.
play more of the series.
so beautiful.
I mean, this game also still looks really good for 64.
It does.
Which
Yeah.
64 can't always say.
Oh, it aged beautifully, and it doesn't even look like a 64 game.
Right.
I mean,
think
the
that's just it. So
bosses-
many 64 games were trying that like 3D look, and this one was not doing it. It was just like, no, this
That's
is
why it
what we're
looks
going
good.
to do for this.
Because when you try to emulate the whole idea of like, hey, we're going to look realistic, and that era did not end well.
Seriously.
But when you go with something more stylistic like this, it works well. One boss we haven't talked about that I want to talk about is the Koopa that keeps following you around that you fight after every world.
Oh yeah, he's
Oh,
annoying.
the baby Koopa.
I liked him a lot. I like how he got demon wings at one point, and he has a staff. Like I like how he keeps changing to try to beat you, and you just keep kicking his ass. I really enjoyed that. No,
I
thought
like
he
the
was a
banjo
cool boss.
music that goes on when he comes in, like he's some redneck little Koopa kid that you're going to beat up.
You beat the shit out of him so many times. Like there's one time when you fight him and he swims after you, so you start the fight and he's at half HP. I
Yep.
was like, okay, that's creative.
At the end, he was like, "Oh, I should have flown over here because then I wouldn't have lost HP."
It was funny. Or getting over there with a whale, I thought that was cool. Like there were just lots of little moments that I really enjoyed. Like there's the whole thing with, you go to a Boo Mansion, you have to do like little puzzles to get in there, and they don't want to let you in. And when you get Lady Bo and like you have ghosts are all getting eaten by this boss, I thought that was really cool.
I think that's
Or
what
the-
really sums up the Paper Mario series is just how charming it is. It's incredibly charming. Like each one of the stories has that going for it.
Completely agree.
That's cool because I was definitely charmed. Like I played this game with sound on, which people who know me, that's not an every time thing, and I enjoyed the music. I enjoyed the gameplay, the sound effects. Like it was all just really like I had a really good time playing this game. Even if I did cheat, I still had a really good time. Like I really enjoyed all the moments and the banter and the conversations people say and the dumb shit that goes on. Like it was all just really good. And the graphics, everything is so pretty still. Like and like they do make, and I like how they make use of the whole paper stuff. Like you guys from with the other game. Like they do this with in this game. He just goes through things. He's paper.
Yeah,
But I did see-
that goes on further.
Okay, I like that. In Luigi's diary, that he's talking about how he's something about ghosts. I think it's written in there.
Yeah, there's a
It's a-
hint towards Luigi's Mansion because it
I
came
thought
out
that was
before
really cool. That's an underrated game. I don't think people give that game enough love. Luigi Mansion is amazing.
all three of them are.
I haven't played the other two yet. I want to. I really do. I need to play Dark Mirror Neck. I just haven't gotten. I own it. I just haven't gotten around to it. But another thing one thing I have to mention because Mario RPG, like where you go to the whole Star Hill, and all I could see was Mario RPG Star Hill. That's 100% the same place in my head. I'm like, this is cool. I mean, it's what they were going for. They just had to file off the serial numbers because they couldn't copy, but it was great. And it is nice that this game goes a different routes, and they instead of going the route of having Bowser join you, you have just different minions join you. I think that is something that sticks around with all the Paper Mario games.
Definitely.
No, not all of them.
Well,
Which one
yeah,
are
I
you not
guess.
saying it's going
Yeah.
with?
There's sadly some that don't have the minions in the same degree as the first.
Well, I
few.
guess, I mean, are we talking the Wii one?
Well, the Wii one's a different beast altogether. It's a different
Right.
style game.
It's a very different game.
But the writing is beautiful in that too. It's just hilarious.
Yeah.
And if you like the whole paper turning and thing, then you'll love the Wii one.
Okay.
And it's more of a platformer, so I think you'd have more patience for it, honestly.
yeah.
I suck at platformers, so.
Maybe not.
But I'd play it. Oh, I'd cheat. I wouldn't play it legit. Come on now. Doesn't matter. But yeah, no, I this got me wanting to play more Paper Mario games completely. Like, it's a series that I've completely overlooked for years and just didn't care, and now I'm completely interested.
That's awesome. It did its job.
Seriously, I love that.
So even though I cheated, it got me more interested like I have 1,000 Year Door sitting on my shelf, like next to me. I've been looking at it. I bought that game years ago, just never got around to it.
Do yourself a favor and really play it, like without the cheating.
You would never beat it.
True.
Hey, I got my own badges where I beat Bloodborne legit, and I beat Dark Souls 1 and 2, but yeah, this I didn't have a choice. So, anything you guys still want to mention that we haven't brought up yet for Paper Mario?
I wanted to talk about the last world, the winter one with the penguin. What do you guys think about that one?
No, we should.
Herringway.
The murder mystery.
I like that. That was good.
I like how they don't let you leave. Like there's a penguin guarding the tunnel, and he's like, "No, you're not going anywhere."
They don't even check the body because he's not dead. He's just sick. Like,
No, I think that part's really cute. And I just love that the penguins like actually have expressions. Like as simple as the aesthetic of the game is, they really are very expressive.
Yeah, no, that was really clever, and I love when they really do things like that are outside the box, like not what you're expecting to happen. Like what Mario's
Right.
framed for murder? Like what? I was not expecting that going into this game.
where his wife lies, she's like, "I told him not to go in there. He just barged in." When she tells you to go in and go see her husband, it was pretty funny. I got a kick out of that. It was a cool world too. I didn't really enjoy the dungeon as much for that place, but I did enjoy the Penguin Town too.
I liked the dungeon. I thought it was clever.
I like the boss for that place.
Which was the boss again for that one?
The one that
Can't remember.
it like mirror like it I'm trying to explain. Like they like mirror like it when you first meet them, they like mirror your partner that you have, you know?
Yeah, that was funny. I did get a kick out of that. Where you have to guess which one's your partner, and if you hit the wrong one, they all attack you.
Yeah.
I thought that was good. You kind of tell though because they'll insult you. They're like, "You're an idiot, Mario." It's like, "You're a moron." I'm like, "Oh, that's the right one to hit then." That was very creative. And like, having the ability to hit enemies beforehand is really nice. And then if you have, like, I had the badges on that let me just run over weak enemies, so I didn't have to fight them.
Yeah.
I like that too. But you didn't get anything for it. But I guess you don't get anything for fighting weak enemies anyway. So,
Pretty much.
which I don't like. But that's an RPG thing, so I get it.
Well, is all RPGs. I mean, it's even like more traditional RPGs, when you fight weak enemies, you get experience, but it's not worth your time. And it's not that they like Paper Mario actually lowers it, till you get 0 star bits. In other RPGs, they just raise the amount of experience you need to level that. What used to give you 5 experience, which was half a level, is now nothing. So it's not worth your time.
I still prefer that because I will fight everybody just for the hell of it when I play games.
There are more modern RPGs. There's conveniences that will just, like, if you're so many levels above, you'll just instantly kill them, and you'll just get the rewards, or it'll just auto battle for you.
I prefer that too.
Yeah, I mean, why play a video game?
Yeah, you wouldn't have to exhibit any skill.
I don't play games for skill. There's no skill. There's just experiencing the story. I know I could read a book, I know. But still.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of some of the other worlds. Like, you have the Goomba King, which I thought was amusing fighting him. I really enjoyed the Koopa Town a lot. I also enjoy how, like, every town you go to, they need your help for something, which is what leads to why people join you. I thought, again, very old RPG aesthetic, but I enjoyed that fact. I like when you go to a town and help people. Simple thing, but I always get a kick out of that. So who was everybody's go-to character? I know we touched a little bit about it, but I just want to hear what your guys' go-to was. I don't think I asked Sarah what yours was.
I would say I go in between Watt and Bombette, depending on who I'm fighting. I like using Watt a lot, though.
Watt was good. And Barry, who was your go-to?
Watt. Once I got him, I just loved him. I was like, oh, this is great.
He was the one character that like he's not from a. I mean, I don't think there's any enemy like that in the Mario series, is there?
Yeah, little Sparky.
Yeah, it goes around the blocks.
Yeah, you can't kill them. They just go around the block.
Oh, okay, that's why. Okay. And what about you, Alyssa? I think you said, or did you already answer that question? I think, right?
Yeah, I liked Cooper a lot.
Okay. And no one fixed the Lakitu, just like it should be. Again, he was my least favorite character. I was all excited when I got him. I thought, okay, the last character you get, he's going to be good. And I'm like, you're doing less damage than my other people. Get out of here. You did less damage than my fish, so I'll keep my fish.
And a shoot to the corner.
And for me, it was a toss-up. It was the fish. It was Goombario. It kind of varied a little bit as the game progressed. Because I tried to use everybody, as much as I could, just because I enjoyed that. Yeah, and I think that's... Any last things you want to say before we go on to questions, comments, or memories? I got a few. I'm
good here. Let's hear them.
All right. I got more than I expected, so that made me happy because people had stuff to talk about with this game. All right, let's see. First, from the I watched the entire Orbital Super replay, I got a few. First, from Sebastian Games. Whenever I get the Switch Online expansion pass, this is a game I really want to check out. You definitely should, because it's a good-ass game. And from Brian Brown, this is my favorite game of all time. Glad you're talking about it. I have a lot of thought. One of my favorite quirks about the writing is that all the toads have puns for names. There's Tass T, Rust T, Feist T, etc. Okay. Honestly, the characters' names in general make me laugh, like Rest in P. Cheeto, who rips you off most of the time if you give him coins for items, and Can't See Koopa, who wears large glasses. Can't See Koopa. Okay, I didn't catch that.
Oh.
That's cool. All right, here's another one. I also like to discuss a few Easter eggs from the same guy. There's a tree in Dryder Outpost that if you run around in circles like 7 times, something like that, a guy stops you and tells you a vision he had. The vision says something good will happen if you spin jump 3 times. Then if you go to the fortune teller's house, you get a badge from the ceiling. There's a lone block in Dryder Desert you can hammer. If you hit the block 100 times, another block with an ultra shroom appears. Damn.
There are like so many of those tricks.
I did the one, get the badge where I ran around the tree and did all that, but I could not hit a block 100 times. That's too much. From Steve Lusiter, it's such a good game. A nice spiritual successor to Super Mario RPG and a great precursor to the Superstar Saga era games, full of wit, humor, and tongue-in-cheek references with a nice, clean gameplay format. And from Star Myers, friend of the show, a favorite Paper Mario game, others aren't bad, just pretty different. For those who crave more of the game, please check out Bug Fables, The Everlasting Spring. It is mechanically speaking a spiritual successor to the first 2 Paper Marios, but also such a solid world and story to go along with it. Okay, never heard of it. But
100% agree. That game is amazing.
I liked it, so I got to the boss, like the B boss, and it just where you're like locked in the machinery and area, and it was just like insanely difficult.
Oh.
What system is that on?
Switch.
It's for Switch.
Oh, I never heard of it.
First Steam.
Oh, it's so good. It's like really difficult platforming, but once you get the hang of it, it's great. And it's done in the Paper Mario way, but there's no real end of the journey. Like you and your friends just want to do this because they feel like it.
Okay,
it's really
you
fun.
got my attention. I added it to my wish list. Maybe at some point I'll get around to it. All right, and then from Lila Page Novaire, it's my favorite game of all time. I love the aesthetic, the lightheartedness, the active combat, the easier difficulty and shorter length. It's really just a perfect game for me to pick up and enjoy casually, and the new randomizer really has me going back to it. Oh, I can't imagine playing this with a randomizer. But I don't like randomizers. I played FF6 randomizer once, and I was like, didn't work for me. Yeah. And from Carl James Klein, I remember putting a little dot in the cartridge from Hollywood Video so I knew which one to rent when my dad would take me there on the weekends as a kid. Okay. And from Lance Howard, while I prefer the Thousand Year Door, this is a great game. I remember renting it way back when I got to the beginning of Chapter 7, I think. I went to load my save, but my brother was annoying me, so I wasn't paying attention to deleting my save. I was pissed.
Oh, I've done that before.
That's when you put a game down and don't go back to it for a year or 2. That's what I do whenever I fuck up and something like that happens. Like with Persona 4, I fucked up my save. I put that game down for a year before I went back to it.
That's when you wish there were save states in real life.
Well, I completely fucked up my save. Like I was supposed to, like instead of going to the dungeon, I thought I had more time than I did. So I was just screwing around doing social links and I realized, surprise, you misread. And now you're screwed. And from Richard, last one I'm going to read from this group, Richard Sampson, friend of the show. I want to say this about the game. Paper Mario was a very interesting take on RPG for Mario that birthed its own series. I know I enjoyed the music of the game and the mix of flat characters in a 3D world was something else. I enjoyed playing Peach in those in-between chapter sections. I remember the reactions of the big shy guy when he tastes very good food. Sadly, I can never play through this game again since I had the misfortune to beat this title on September 11, 2001. I know I'm missing out on a good series, but that day messes all on a psychological level. Yeah, that's not the game you want to beat on that day. So I get that. Like, there's a lot of games that one game I always think of like that will never be re-released is Urban Strike. And from the other group, Nintendo N64 Super Group, I got a few. From James Haley, absolutely love this game. One of my top faves on the N64. From Brian Ramey, man, this series is a real tragedy. The first game was amazing. The second took everything from the first and made it better. Super Paper Mario was still good, but not as good as the first two. Every game since has sucked. Do you guys have any comments for that?
Disagree.
No, I disagree.
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 I've heard other people say the same thing. I have no experience, but I doubt
different doesn't
Other
mean
people are
bad.
dumb.
They're different. They have different mechanics. It's just you have to get used to the mechanics in the world. That's just it.
Okay. From Drew Taylor, I downloaded back in the day on the Wii for $9.99. Definitely worth playing. I remember the Wii shop was cool when they had it. I gotta say that. And from Tudor Pango, fantastic game and arguably the best in the series. The tone, the music, the art style, the characters, personality, everything blends together for a beautifully balanced world, excellent gameplay, and a plethora of memorable moment. Right, from Jonas Kritzer, the best game in N64, as well as the all-time best Mario game ever made. All right, that's some high praise there. I don't know if I would say that, but hey, I'll give it.
I wouldn't give it that, but that is definitely high praise.
Yes. From Heather Boturley, I have so many memories playing this game with my brother. We absolutely loved it, and it's my favorite of the series still to this day. We still have our original save file on our original N64. They didn't delete it like me. And that's all I'm going to read. That's all the comments that we got. All right, and that brings us to our last segment, Shelf Stacker Box. And Barry, why don't you go first?
Oh, easy shelf. I mean, this is definitely one of those games that you can go back to. There's so much charm. It's a Mario game. It's a Nintendo game. It's just, it's something that you should want to cherish and you should want to, treasure and pass down, not only once you play it, if your kids play it, your grandkids play it, like as it goes on. Like it's a timeless game. It still looks fantastic. It plays great. The music is wonderful. The writing is ingenious. And I don't think you should deprive future generations of this title.
Okay. Hey, thankfully with it being on Switch and 64, it won't be.
Exactly.
So more people will experience it. Because it's well worth it. I forget how much does the expansion pass for Switch online?
I think it's like
$25.
I think it's an extra 30 or something like that. But if you have the family pass, it's like 40 or 50. But you get it for 4 people, so it's worth it, in my opinion.
It does sound worth it, actually.
Year.
Hey, now you get GoldenEye. So hey,
yes,
a game that, unless if you didn't love it back in the day, don't replay it ever. I'm sure it doesn't hold up. You don't have nostalgia for it, so. I don't know if I haven't played it, but in a long time. I doubt it. And Sarah, what about you?
Oh, definitely put it on the shelf. I mean, it's in my N64 right now. It just sits there.
But you didn't play it.
N64, the same cartridge that I had as a kid. Well, I've been playing lots of other games. I mean, Harry Potter, Hogwarts Legacy just came out, so pretty busy.
I keep forgetting that exists. But I also, new games mean nothing to me.
Especially because you can't cheat in them as well.
Right. That is, you don't need to as much, to be honest. So there's that. And Alyssa, what about you?
Definitely shelf. I mean, this game is a little bit lower on my Paper Mario totem pole, but I still enjoy it enough where I would totally pick it up and play it again.
Okay. And was this your first time beating it, right, Alyssa?
This is my second time beating it, because the first time I played it on the Wii with like a GameCube controller. But yeah, but that was years ago.
Okay. Well, I am glad I got you to relive it. And I'll go last. I'm going to put this on the shelf, too. I had a good time. I wasn't sure what I thought, but the more we talked about it and the more I thought about it as time has passed, I really did have a good time.
I like how you say you put it on your shelf, but you also talk about how you deleted it and the save file and everything from your Steam Deck.
Well, if I had the actual cartridge, it would go on the shelf.
Nah, I just got to tease you there.
So this is... But yeah, no, that's just how I am. I like making room in my Steam Deck for stuff, so I just get rid of it. On PC, it wouldn't go anywhere. But on Steam Deck, it gets deleted right away. That's a Steam Deck thing for me. That's all. But it doesn't mean I didn't. Like, I had a good time. Like, it surprised me how charming and how good this game was. Because I came into it without any real expectations. And the more, like, people compare it to Super Mario RPG, it made me kind of, like, unsure. Because this game, I mean, it could have been, the sequel to Super Mario RPG. But it's its own thing. And I'm happy that it exists. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And I feel like some people don't like it because it wasn't what they wanted. It wasn't the sequel to Mario RPG. I think that was also my problem as a kid too.
This
era, wasn't the sequel that I wanted.
This era for Nintendo was very much a, Nintendo trying new things and people were expecting the old things and were getting upset. When we first saw Paper Mario, Super Mario RPG, it was like, well, it doesn't look the same. It's going to suck. Wind Waker was revealed shortly after, after the Space World 2000 promo, and people were like, wait, what? This looks terrible. This is going to suck. Like, that was just what it was like as a Nintendo fan in the early 2000s.
And both those games are really good.
Exactly.
Wind Waker's a great Zelda game. It just gets overlooked because it wasn't what people wanted in Space World at the time. So in that trailer that we never got. Yeah. And but Paper Mario, like, it's nice to play a game, and like for me, I got to experience the game for the first time. Like I had vague memories of it, but I actually had very little spoiled to me ever before. Like, I mean, it's a Mario game. I knew what was going to happen, but like I didn't. A lot of the worlds were new. I had never known about the toy box. That was a brand new thing to me, and it's kind of cool when I go back and play a 20-year-old game and not, like there's stuff that I didn't expect. So that was interesting. And it's also one of the few RPGs on N64 because there aren't many. So
that's true.
There's very few. No, but just like one last thing I want to kind of talk about, go out on, just the fact that like, this game is preserved on Switch Online now. I mean, I know it's not preserved. Well, I shouldn't say preserved. That's the wrong word. It's accessible for now from this, and it makes me happy that more people can play this because this is a game that is very easy for a lot of people to pick up and play. Like, this is the kind of game, if you have time, you would learn the mechanics. You could level up. It's not overly challenging. It's not like a Hollow Knight, which I don't care what you say, Alyssa, that game is hard as hell. So.
Hey, it's a really good game.
Oh, it's amazing.
If you get the hang of it, it is not that bad.
Yes, it is. The White Palace has words for you.
Oh, actually, well, okay, fine. But that's the only part that I still, to this day, have not beat because it is impossible.
Sarah, have you ever played Hollow Knight?
Not that much. Wes played it, and I watched him play it, but I didn't really play too much of it.
Oh, great game.
It's such a good game.
It doesn't, like, this game didn't have that type of challenge, and I think that's, I mean, yes, I cheated and everything, but I still feel like this game is not nearly as challenging as some other games where it could be very approachable, and the fact that it's somewhere where many people will be experienced to it makes me happy. Because if I remember correctly, 1,000 Year Door is just locked to the GameCube, right?
Yep.
That's a shame. Because
for now,
I hope Switch eventually puts GameCube games on there somehow, or the next Switch.
I feel like they will, because they just added like the Game Boy Advance and then the
Game Boy and Game Boy Color.
Yeah. Yep. So I feel like eventually, they have to. Or I mean, I feel like,
or they'll be adding 3DS.
That, yes. I feel like they're going to be just like remastering games, because like the Mario All-Stars, for example, you had Super Mario Sunshine from the GameCube on there. Or I believe they're remastering the Metroid Prime.
Yeah, there's going to be a Prime series.
Yeah, so like I feel like they're just going to start remastering like popular games from the GameCube, and then maybe eventually they'll, add it on to there, which hopefully they do.
That would make me happy. I want to see. I'm always happy when people are able to experience games for the first time.
I think
older
it would
games.
Be smart to do like a Paper Mario collection with at least the first 3 games that should be easy enough to port over. That would be smart.
Which is the third one? That's Super Paper Mario, right?
The Wii,
and that's not the one. Sticker Smash. That's the 3DS.
Sticker Stars
one?
On 3DS, yeah.
Okay, that's the one everybody dislikes.
That's probably the most disliked one, but it's not bad. It's just different.
It's not fun. It's not as fun as the other ones. It just isn't.
I was watching the videos of it after you guys brought it up. I'm like, that is a much different game.
And I love Paper Mario games. That one is not fun.
Yeah, every attack you have to use stickers, and you have to keep constant. It's like consumables, pretty much like items for even your basic attacks.
Oh, I don't.
You get plenty of that. I also don't think you get experience for killing enemies, so there's no point in fighting them and wasting your stickers.
Okay. That doesn't work. Well, I mean, I'm interested now. Because of this, I am now interested to try more of these games. Where before I had no interest. Like, again, this game wouldn't even been on the show. It wasn't for that random person 3 years ago telling me to play 1,000 Year Door. So, he got me to play another Mario game. I'm also trying to go and play more Mario games that I missed. Because I missed a lot over the years, especially the Wii. I did not play any of the Wii stuff.
You didn't play either Galaxy games?
Not really.
Oh my god.
I know, I need to change it. I own Galaxy 1 and 2.
Odd reason.
I don't like the Wii because I don't like motion controls. That's all.
Yeah, but you can play Mario Galaxy, the first one, on the Switch, if you got that.
I did not get that big.
3D All-Stars.
Yeah.
I'll play it other ways. But yeah, with a controller, that'll be fine. I just haven't got around to it yet. So, but I definitely want to play it because I just don't like. I have to play stuff with a controller. I can't do motion controls. That turned me off for a long time. What system is that Paper Jam game on?
3DS. That's a Mario and Luigi game, but it's a crossover with Mario and Luigi series, but with Paper Mario characters.
I'll have to try that because I'm going to try to make an effort, probably not till next year, but try to start playing, Thousand Year Door for sure, and then the first Paper Mario game, or Mario Luigi game, finally. I'm also trying to go back and play a lot of the 3DS games. I missed that entire library, and there's so many good titles in there.
Oh, 3DS.
I'm finding out.
You got a good future ahead of you then.
I do. I'm trying. I'm trying to play lots of good games. I actually don't play many bad games on the show anymore, so that's a nice change. Almost everything is good that I pick. All right, and I think that's about everything I need to say on that end. So I just wanted to say what we're going to be talking about next week. Next week, you can hear me talk about Star Wars Rogue Squadron. So you get to hear me talk about that next week. And Barry, where can people find you at?
You can find me on Twitter at Hawk Hellfire. You can find me my Nintendo Views at nintendoviews.com, on Twitter at Nintendo Views, and youtube.com/Nintendo Views. And Premium Edition Games, you can find us at premiumeditiongames.com, where you could purchase all our physical Switch and PlayStation titles, as well as at Premium Edition 1 on Twitter and Premium Edition Games everywhere else.
And Alyssa, where can people find you at?
On Instagram, my handle is Alyssa Billy. I do curler bead art on there.
All right. And if you enjoyed this episode, you can find all over 400 other episodes of the show on Podbean. If you can't find me, looking for on Spotify or iTunes. We have done a bunch of other Mario episodes. You can go find our giant catalog. If you want to go check those out. We don't even Luigi Mansion 2. Good game. So go check out our giant catalog. Want to give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro, courtesy of Helena. You can, at Hal Halfree, you can follow her on TikTok. She went TikTok famous, so definitely go check her out. And if you follow her, you should tell her I sent you. And then she'll send me the screenshot. So also we have a shout out to my buddy Bill Tucker, who started his own podcast, The Gamer Looks at 40. Definitely go check out his show. And please, if you want to support the show, we do have a Patreon. For little dollar, you can vote in our Patreon poll. The one right now is Scarlett Johansson movies Mike has never seen. Under the Skin, Her, The Perfect Score, and Other Boiling Girl. I know I probably said that wrong. But those, you get to pick which of those. With little dollar, you can vote in our Patreon poll. And we have a Discord. So if you want to talk with us, please go join our Discord. And you can also please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and on YouTube. Audio only, but we are on YouTube. And I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.